Welcome back to our latest frozen pizza reviews. Today, we're going with the fancy, supposedly healthier for you Amy's Pizza. This also costs a bit more. We were at our local Fry's grocery store, saw this in the frozen pizza section for $9.29. And it's supposed to be a Margherita pizza, but not a Neapolitan style. So it makes it a little bit different. Go ahead and open it up. I feel like this is a little overpriced, but we'll give her a shot. So it appears that these are little chunks of mozzarella all over this. That's a good sign. And then, of course, the tomato sauce and basil, and I imagine some olive oil's on there as well. You know what? Let's take a look at what this says. Let's see how they're selling it to us. When Amy's mother Rachel and Uncle Joel were kids back in the 1960s, their parents took them to Italy. The first thing they wanted to eat when they got there was, of course, pizza. In Naples, they found what they were looking for, not exactly like the ones back home, but delicious and recognizably pizza. 40 years later, when Amy's grandmother first tried Amy's Margherita pizza, she said, "Somehow this tastes familiar." When our cook explained that this pizza was based on the original pizza Neapolitana, she laughed and said, "Of course, this is just like what we ate in Naples. The simple sauce is made with organic tomatoes and the crust is thinner than our usual crust. Best of all are the toppings, organic tomatoes with mozzarella, Parmesan, and organic basil. The simple, crisp flavors of this classic pizza are hard to beat." All right, this wants it in the oven for 450 degrees, directly on the oven rack for 9 to 10 minutes. And that's it. So, you know the routine. I am going to get this opened up, get it thrown in the oven, and I'll see you back here in just a moment with a look of the finished product and our taste test. I've never had an Amy's anything before, so this is a first for me. Could it become a new favorite? Place your bets. I'll see you back here in just a moment. Here's what it looks like out of the oven, and this level of doneness was only achieved by leaving it in longer than the recommended time. They said between 9 and 10 minutes, but it just was undercooked for my preference. So at their recommended temperature of 450, after 11 and a half minutes, then it started looking good. But the top on this is very loose. It just wants to all slide right off of there. But it smells fantastic. All right. Well, assuming it'll be cool enough to eat, I can't wait to try it. It smells great. It looks good. And when I cut through it with the pizza wheel, the crust had a very nice crustier outside and a soft middle. Yeah, I can feel that through the wheel. Absolutely. So the underside of it, I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks really well done there. That's good. And we got cheese dripping off. There's the whole other half here. Spin that around this way. And oh yeah, that cooking it right on the rack, that did a great job on that crust. We certainly would wish every pizza crust could cook that well on the rack of the oven. And we've certainly seen some pizza crusts that still come out quite chewy and doughy. So whatever Amy's is doing with their pizza crust, all the texture, the way it looks, seems very well done. Let's hope it tastes as good. I'm going to just pull one of these pieces right here. And hopefully it's not too hot to eat. Still pretty hot. Feel like the crust does match everything, right? The look, the sound, the feel, and the taste all point to a good crust. The mozz, the cheese, no complaints. But the sauce, when a lot of garlic is added to tomato sauce, it strikes me as becoming sweeter. So sometimes I might describe something as sugary when it's really just garlicky because of the sweetness. And then I start thinking of Chef Boyardee, SpaghettiOs, things of that nature. And that's what I'm getting out of this sauce. It's clean, but it's got a sweetness to it that's a little too much for my preference. I would prefer it to be more, I would prefer the whatever herbs and seasonings they're adding to the tomato sauce that it were more subtle. That said, it's not bad, but it just takes me back to childhood for the sweeter sauces typically used in food for kids. The crust on this, pretty thin crust, and it's what a dark layer right down here. Probably hard to pick up on the camera, but it's a very dark layer, probably because I left it in the oven a little longer waiting for the top, with the bottom maybe cooked a little too long, but it's not burnt. It's just very well done. And that very bottom is brown, and then right above it, it's white. So you've got that, not much of it, but a little bit of the bready part of the crust. And you see it holds the pizza up nice and firm, nice and rigid. Let me take a few more bites. I'm going to have a really hard time scoring this one. My initial instinct is give it a 5. But then I think, if I went to a restaurant and they served this to me, would I eat that again? And well, it's not immediately striking me as, the best pizza I ever had. I could see me ordering another one of these when I'm in that mood for that particular style, that flavor profile, which is, it's average in so many ways, but then it's better in a couple other ways with the freshness. And it is different enough that you can certainly tell the difference between this and, say, some of the mass-produced, DiGiorno and Freschetta and all those others. It does come across as a bit more mature than those, but not by much. Certainly not by the terms of other Margherita pizzas we've tried. I think this is a solid 7. Yeah, I'm going to sit at a 7 out of 10 on this one. It's decent, but it's not the best in its class. It's also quite expensive for the small size of pizza you're getting and the lack thereof of any filling ingredients. The crust is thin. One person can easily eat this whole pizza as a single serving, which is typically the way Margherita pizzas are served. They're usually like 10-inch, 12-inch pizzas. But there's something about it that's just a little too commercial. I guess that's the best way I can put it. If this said DiGiorno on it instead of Amy's, I'd say it's good for a DiGiorno. Okay. And I've never had Amy's before, but it's promoted as being, this better alternative, and better than what? So overall, yeah, I enjoy it. It's maybe something I would get again if I'm in the mood for that and I'm not too hungry. On the other hand, if I really wanted a Margherita pizza, we have others that are larger and about the same price for what I think is a better quality pizza. But if I was somewhere where this is what they had versus, the other frozen pizzas that we've, your generic ones, your DiGiornos, your Freschettas, your Red Barons, I would pick this over those. So that's where we're going to leave it on this one. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stick around and see our next frozen pizza review, which is coming right up. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.